So I watched WandaVision for the first time on Wednesday. The very next day, I went to go see Doctor Strange 2. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about WandaVision and the movie. But before I get to that, I just wanna real quick let y'all know my experience with the MCU and how I got introduced to it. Short version, I remember seeing the trailer, having Spider-Man join in Civil War, and I was like, ooh, look, Spider-Man. Didn't care too much about superhero movies back then. I didn't know anything about the shit. I just knew we just kept getting superhero movies. I ended up watching Luke Cage on Netflix, and I thought that shit was cool. Once it came time for Infinity War and all the hype that I was getting, I was like, alright, I gotta get hip, because like what is motherfuckers talking about, bro? Like I gotta, like, it's all I'm ever hearing about. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see if, you know what I'm saying. So then I got hip. I watched all like 21 movies, however many movies there was leading up to Infinity War in like 4 days. Then I went to go see it in theaters, and yeah, and boom. And then ever since then, I've been on track. So that's all my knowledge on this Marvel stuff. I ain't no comic book nerd, blah, 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 none of that shit. So with WandaVision, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of forgot that Vision died, but at the same time, I didn't. I was confused because I knew he died, but I was like, my memory's so ass that I'm like, damn, am I forgetting that he somehow, like, what, like, how is this the thing? So I was thinking like they were able to resurrect him, get him back online, whatever, without the Mind Stone. And I just forgot that somehow. So I'm watching it. I'm fucking with the sitcom shit. I mean, like, I'm already enjoying it, like, without some extra shit going on. And then, you know, episode 1, we get dude choking at the table, and she talking about stop it, and it's like, okay, what's going on, and shit kind of creepy. And then boom, it just goes back to normal. Before that, you got the advertisement with the toaster ticking like a bomb. I'm like, bro, why that toaster sound like a bomb? Bro, the WandaVision was great, bro. The way everything came full circle was perfect. The way he was choking and she was talking about stop it is how everyone was at the end when she accidentally, you know, put them rings around them, and they were all choking on the ground, and she's like, oh shit, no, stop. It's like, bro, like, like, come on, man, I love shit like that. All the advertisements were, you know, based on her past and what she was dealing with, either her past or what she was dealing with at the time. Like, the shit was honestly perfect. WandaVision was honestly perfect. I'm just sitting here enjoying my sitcom, and then all of a sudden, the motherfucker on the radio, Wanda, oh, doing this to you. Then they got the baby shit. I'm immersed in them trying to keep the secret. Like, it was really good because not only was it that overarching plot that was going on with everything going on in the outside world, but I was just strictly immersed in the sitcom. So then you got Monica, you know, talking about, oh, he was killed by Ultron. And she's like, and then, you know, Wanda go crazy. Then we see the backstory of how Monica got there, and, you know, how, oh my gosh, like, how everything connected was just, and this is just the series. We're not even getting to the movie yet. I'm gonna skip ahead some when Vision was, you know, on the Halloween episode, when Vision was going to the outskirts of town, and that lady was like, bro, the shit was creepy, because it's like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Like, during it, I kind of had a inkling that, okay, well, Wanda is somehow controlling this shit, but, you know, I didn't have all the info, all the answers. But, you know, especially when she was talking about some and then the shit rewinded, and it just went back to, like, oh my gosh, that shit, I loved WandaVision so much. Like, when it was over, I was like, damn, I want to watch more, bro. But then when Vision was trying to break out, I was like, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, he was created, he's not real, none of this shit is. So that's why, you know, he was getting torn apart, like literally just disintegrating, or he couldn't, you know, walk out of Westview and whatnot. Then all of a sudden you got Agatha, you got the runes, and then you got the flashback. We had a flashback episode. And then you see how, you know, the missile, all the shit that she been through, right? And it's like, okay, that explains all the commercials, that explains, and then, you know, you get to the finale, and I thought at the end, like, with them bringing revived Vision into the shit, and then with Westview Vision unlocking the data in real world Vision, I was like, okay, so, you know, Wanda fucked up, you know what I'm saying? She fucked up. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm thinking, okay, happy ending, right? That motherfucker just dipped. Like, where did he go? He got all the memories of everything that happened, so I'm thinking, okay, he gonna stay, help Wanda, blah, blah, blah. No, he just disappeared. He literally just disappeared. I like the big brain plays with the runes with Wanda and Agatha at the end, and then you know, she had to say bye to everyone, and so at the end I'm like, okay, well, the whole time I'm like, okay, yes, she messed up. It ended up happening on accident. She realized what she was doing. But here's where, you know, reality kicks in. Like, I'm talking about real world shit, bro. Like, you cannot, like, morally, like, ethically you can fault her or whatever, but like morally you can't really fault her for not releasing everyone and, you know, blah blah blah, because you got to think about how challenging it would be to have experienced all that loss that she's experienced, and then rewind some of it and then add on a new addition of love, and then think about how she would just have to give that all up and then go back to being alone again. So it's like, yeah, you can be like, Wanda, this is wrong, but at the same time, like, that shit would be really hard. Like, you have to really think, like, she was really like, okay, basically kill your family. That's what she had to do to make things right. And this was her head, you know, like, all from her head, her imagination and whatnot. So it's kind of like if we sitting here thinking about some shit, but she just made it a reality. But after she said goodbye and everything, after, you know, Westview was no longer under, you know, her control and whatnot, I'm like, okay, you know, I'm hoping, like, I know I wanted a happy ending. Where the fuck is White Vision? I know I wanted a happy ending, but at the same time, there's got to be consequences. There's got to be some type of consequences for this. You can't just take over a whole town, take a whole town hostage, and then be like, okay, well, I'm back on the squad. I'm back on the Avengers. I'm a hero. Like, that's not how that shit works. And then, of course, she flies away at the end. And I'm like, damn, living in solitude. And I'm like, okay, makes sense. Like I said, just how everything came full circle. I just really like how, you know, it's not fake. It's real how, you know, throughout her entire life, like, you know, she was a child when she lost her parents. They really had no other, like, what else were they gonna do other than, you know, volunteer for Hydra? They join Hydra, get experimented on, unlock powers, boom, Avengers come through, brother dies. Then it's like, boom, that's just more loss, and she's all alone in this world, you know, and then Vision come through, and then they end up having a thing, and it's like, okay, well, you know, I find it, boom, Thanos. Not only did Thanos kill him, but she had to force herself to end his life first, and then just watch that shit be rewound. Like, bro, that is some despair, bro. That is a heavy bag of despair, bro. Just like she said, I killed it's not funny, bro. That shit just tough, man. That shit tough. Imagine building up the mentality that you have to be like, okay, it's basically like, you know, someone turning into a zombie and you're like, all right, I have to do this. Well, not even like that, honestly. I can't really make an analogy of what that shit is like. So yeah, not only did she experience loss and have to see it all firsthand, but the last one, the most recent one for her, and probably the most painful, because, you know, when you find someone you love, that's kind of like, that bond kind of shoots over, you know, everything else. The fact that she had to take action and actually do the killing, and then, like she said, just have that shit not even matter, like that shit is really crazy, bro. That's a whole nother level of despair that, like, we can't even relate to, like, wouldn't even be able to, like, you really have to put your mind into it. And so all of this is to say that leading to her transformation or awakening of the Scarlet Witch really makes sense. And it, like, that it was such a good, like, it's all been a lead up, all of her role in the movies and whatnot, but, you know, especially with this mini series or whatever, they did a really good job, at least in my opinion, of not only, like, all of that shit, it was important, and then it was also really entertaining. Now I'm gonna move on to Doctor Strange 2, the movie. This is gonna have spoilers, yes. So you move on to the movie, right? And it's basically a super duper extended season finale or a sequel movie, whatever you want to call it, for WandaVision. I mean, she's already corrupted by the Darkhold, right? Later it comes to our attention that she's been dreamwalking and all that and blah blah blah, but you got her fighting and doing whatever she can for her children, as she's been told they don't exist, but that's only this reality. And because they're living in a world where walking through dimensions and blah 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 is a thing. Technically they do exist. The fact that she has the power to possibly, or not even possibly, but to get what she wants, you know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna stop her? Like, and that's the question. That's like the title of the movie, who's gonna stop her? And then we watch the movie and it's like, damn, no one really. So, and she knew that. So it's like, bitch, I'm powerful. I can do what I want. I've been following the rules. And then, you know, like she says, all of this has been, hey man, this is me being reasonable. Oh my God, nah, she a demon for real. It makes sense because towards the end of the movie, you know, she's like, Scarlet Witch is said to have the power to rule over the universe or destroy it, or rule over the world or destroy it, some shit like that. And she's like, all I wanted is my kids, which that's fine, but the part where she fucked up is killing a child in order to get a 100% win rate. This whole time I'm thinking she had to like sacrifice America to get to see her boys or whatever in order to use the power or whatever, blah blah blah. But she just wanted to take the power, which, you know, would kill America, in order to ensure that disease, what if they get sick, blah blah blah. Like, she was being extra, which like, but at the same time it's like, I can do this and who's gonna stop me? Like, it's like, okay, well, why not go an extra step further to just ensure their safety? You know what I'm saying? Like, she was really, oh my gosh, bro, she was really in mommy mode, bro. She's and it's funny because at the beginning when she talking to Doctor Strange, like, oh, you break the rules and you're a hero, but you know, when I do it, I'm the bad guy. That doesn't seem fair. But it's like, and when Doctor Strange is like, that's different. I mean, it literally is different, right? Like, okay, yeah, he gave up the time stone, and in that instance, it led to half the universe being wiped out. But number one, he saw the future, and that was the only way. And then they were able to right that wrong later on. They didn't get brutally murdered though. They just faded away and then came right back. Yes, that caused chaos, eventual chaos and panic and, oh, what the fuck is going on and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, they were safe. They were saved. You know, that was kind of like, that was a sacrifice that they needed to make, but it was a temporary sacrifice. Now, on the flip side, Wanda, you're killing people to get what you're trying. Before she starts killing people, you want to kill someone to get what you want, and they not gonna come back. So it's like, you already fucking up there. Then you attack the sacred ground, and now you really killing people, annihilating motherfuckers. And it's like, okay, so at this point I'm like, okay, yeah, this movie is her exit, because she definitely not getting back on the squad with this on her record. So we've seen the movie, we see what she does. She does all of this, going to a different dimension, a different reality, possessing her. Like, bro, Doctor Strange was like, okay, what happens to the other you? What happens to their mother? And she didn't even give a fuck. Like, and it, like, she was so far gone and so locked in to her mission that she didn't really think about that or care, or both. She had the resolve to get rid of herself. Like, she did not give a fuck about that universe as her. And that's kind of crazy, to be honest, because in your reality, I mean, it's different because they have the ability to travel through different universes and whatnot. But in your reality, the thought of, okay, well, you know, in a different timeline, in a different reality, life ain't like this for me. You would want you to succeed. You would want yourself to be doing better. So the fact that she was like, yeah, I'm gonna clean this bitch up. Like, nobody was safe, not even her. But what makes this all fire is, like I said, WandaVision, how that came full circle. Doctor Strange 2 came full circle with WandaVision as well, because in WandaVision, she's talking about, you know, Agatha stole the power from the witches and whatnot. And she was like, okay, that's different though. The difference between us is you did that on purpose, which she's right. And she did do Westview on accident. But then she tried to lie to herself when she found out what she did, and was kind of like, you know, trying to keep it going, which, like I said, ethically isn't justified, but like logically in her mind is, you know, it's tough. It's tough, which, you know, I get why she wouldn't just be like, oh, whoops, my bad, and then end that shit. Because it's like, bro, this is the dream. Like, literally the dream. So why would I willingly end this shit? It's like, you know, if you having a good ass dream and then something wake you up and then, but like you still kind of have a sleep. So like, y'all ever like go close your eyes and try to force yourself back to sleep and finish that dream up? It's kind of like that, except for she actually do get to continue that dream. And it's like, she could, at any moment she could wake up, but it's like, why the fuck would I want to wake up? So like I say, you know, she tells Agatha, the difference is you're doing this all on purpose. And then boom, now you go to Doctor Strange, and that difference is her reality now. She's doing this all on purpose. Kind of. It's no accident that she's going to this place, that place, cleaning motherfuckers up. And then once she gets to the end to see her children, that shit was fire, bro. Boom, right in front of them, they screaming, off rip screaming, it's a witch. You know, they throwing shit at her, and she like, yo, stop. And then you know, she's looking at her children, scared shitless of her, and she's like, I'm your mother. And then, oh my god, like that shit is so sad, but it's so fire, bro. Like, imagine your children being afraid of you and saying, please don't hurt us. And she's like, I would never. And then she goes on to say, she says, I would never hurt you. And then she says, I would never hurt anyone. And then it's like, bitch, did you forgot what you just did? This whole movie? You forgot all that? Maybe you forgot taking a motherfucking mouth away, boom, exploding his head. You forgot stretching someone into oblivion. You forgot slicing someone in half. You forgot giving someone to Caesar. What are we talking about? What you mean you would never hurt anyone? That's a lie. And then she goes on to say, I'm not a monster. I'm sorry, bro. It's bro, I don't know. It's so sad that I'm laughing, bro. Cause it's like, bro, she was really that delusional, bro. Like, she was really crazy. Like, I mean, basically all of her childhood trauma developed a mental illness. That's the story at hand, to be honest, which really isn't funny. But it's just like, bro, she really was like, yo, no, like, she didn't consciously or, you know, really realize, I don't know, like the extent of what she was actually doing, you know, what she was actually doing. I don't know why the fuck I just said that shit twice like I said something different. That's when she comes to the realization, like, damn, bro, I'm an L for real. And then she just walk away and kneel and start crying. Like she said, you know, she really just only wanted one thing, but she was on a fucking war path, a path of destruction. The severity of her actions, the realization of that didn't really kick in until she looking at her kids staring at her scared shitless, and they're like, yeah, you're not our mom, please stop, don't hurt us. Then it's like, once you see that, it's like, okay, well, damn, there ain't nothing, I lose. So the most fire part of all, honestly, is the part where the other Wanda approaches her and caresses her face. And that's the point where it's like, she's thinking this really could have been me, because, you know, the whole what if type shit is really just in a different reality. So it's like, damn, this could have been me, and it is me in a different reality. And that's kind of the realization, the realization that we normally get, but we're actually this time in the perspective of the evil one. And it's like, that's what's so fire about it, because we've seen and experienced everything she's been through. Life is all about trying to preach about being righteous and turning the other cheek, and, you know, doing what's good, and ignore this and that and blah blah blah. So it's like, you always got to stay good, you know, versus bad and evil and whatnot. But the reality of the situation is all of that trauma, all that despair and shit that she's been through, that's what it turned. Like, look at Star Wars, you know what I'm saying? Like, Revenge of the Sith with Anakin. All that shit ended up, you know, leading him down the wrong path. And so it's like, you don't really get stories like this too often, where it's like good guy becomes bad, at least not from what I've seen. Like, not to say that it's rare, but it's definitely not, you know, the normal. Normally it's like a okay, you get a character that parallels the main character or the character at hand, and it's like I said, damn, this is what I could have become. But in this instance, it is what she actually became. And then she tells them, no, they'll be loved. Which sucks, because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, someone tells you something and you kind of know it. Either you know it's true or you don't accept that it's true or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or maybe you don't believe it. And it's just like, you just got to take the journey to come to that answer yourself. And then you look back in hindsight and it's like, damn, that motherfucker was right. They already told her like, yo, you're like, this ain't, you can't have that. But she had to experience that firsthand and see like, damn, okay, this really is, you know, because she see how her kids are acting. Like that shit isn't gonna, that's how it is. Like, you aren't their mother technically. So it's like, okay, yeah, she like, all right, yeah, I'm wilding. Okay, you right, I'm wilding. Then she go back and you know, destroy the. Now, is she dead? Especially because of the end of the movie. I'm assuming that's kind of just what they want us to think, and then, you know, maybe she'll return somewhere way later down the line when we need help, and it's like, damn, we need like an OP motherfucker on our team. Who we ain't nobody on the hello, anybody? And then she show up, something like that. I don't know. But regardless, if that's not the case, if she is actually dead, then, you know, it's kind of fitting for her to end this way, because I don't know, man, because it's like, what else does she have? And like I said, it's not like they just gonna forgive her like, oh, you had a little, you know, little misfit, whatever, you know, you was going through some things, it's cool, you back on the squad. Like, no, that's not happening. So, and it's not like anyone can lock her up. Like, what? How are y'all gonna lock her up? So, a fitting end to a tragic tale. Now, to talk about the movie in general, that shit was heat, man. And people saying that it was bad, trash, ass, all of that. I don't even know what to say, bro. I honestly don't even know what to say. I don't understand what type of expectations people are having to go into this movie and come out disappointed. Because I went in excited as hell and came out even more excited. So I don't really get it. I'm assuming they saw cameos and then saw those very same cameos die very quickly with little to no struggle. You know, that might have heated people up, but that wasn't the point of the movie. You know what I'm saying? People were saying the plot was bad, the plot was ass. And I literally just talked about how that is the complete opposite of the case. I don't know, man. And even like, I've seen people, someone said, oh, every time Doctor Strange and Christine came up, I didn't care, which, like, I get that, but at the same time, like, a story can't just, it's crazy because a lot of people don't like development and, you know, story building and all that shit, whatever elements you need to, you know, dialogue, this and that, whatever, to get to the next point of conflict, climax or whatever. It's always like, oh, action. Oh, that was boring. Oh, they needed to box more, blah, blah, blah. But then in this, you got a bunch of action, bunch of violence. But for whatever reason, people are still disappointed. And like I said, I think it's just because comic book accuracy and, you know, the Illuminati. Oh, like people were saying, oh, Richard Reed is the smartest dude in the world or whatever, you know, right? But blah, blah, blah. Okay, first of all, she was possessing someone. So it's kind of like, you know, you can't just, okay, let's kill her. And even like, what? I just don't understand. Like, you know, I haven't read comics or anything. I just don't understand what they were expecting him to do after Black Torch got his mouth removed from existence and blew his own head up. What was supposed to be the plan of action after that? Tell me, please. Because people are like bashing like, oh, that wasn't very smart of him to blah, blah, blah. I mean, they did what heroes do, which is try to stop, you know, they ask questions first and then get to boxing. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, she was holding someone hostage, you know, by possession. So it's not like they could have just been on go. And even if they were, I mean, it's fucking Scarlet Witch. So if you're a comic book nerd, you know how fucking powerful she is. So I don't know, man. But that shit was heat, though. I definitely didn't expect that shit to happen. The only thing that really bothered me about the movie, and just slightly, is the fact that did happen, because it's kind of the same thing for like mass destruction for me. Like, just seeing buildings collapse and all that shit is just like something in my mind is like, oh damn, bro, That's all it was. Just the fact that it's like, damn, and this reality is really fucked now. Just that fact. But other than that, I fuck with the movie heavy, and that part was so fire. Professor X, I was like, please, come on, Professor X, do it, save her. And then he was talking about, oh, if I can just pull you out of the door, and I'm like, okay, you're not really making any progress. And then that smoke started coming, and then the motherfucker just stopped. I'm like, oh yeah, it's up. She's like, yo, that shit was crazy, bro. That shit was crazy. My first viewing I saw on Thursday, and then I saw it again on Sunday. My first viewing, I missed probably like, I came in thinking I only missed like a few minutes, like maybe 3 to 5, but I think I missed like about 12 minutes, something around that. Bro, I walked in there at the part where they're like, who's this girl, and he was like, I was hoping you could tell me. I sat down and saw her. I'm like, who the fuck is this? But I'm looking forward to seeing what type of role she has in the future, because the multiverse travel shit is crazy. The whole movie was really good. Like, I just talked about Wanda. I didn't even get to, the Doctor Strange part. Having the 3 different, bro, that shit was really good, dude. Like, I enjoyed it so much, and the directing was heat. Like, it was so different. It was such a different type of, Marvel movie that we don't normally get. It was a different type of vibe, different type of atmosphere. The shots, the music battle, that was like, bro, that shit was so cool. I love how the trailer made it seem like, for me, I didn't know shit. So, and also keep in mind, I hadn't seen WandaVision when I saw the teaser, because they showed that shit at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, with them saying the voice line with the biggest threat to our universe is you, and then it's showing the dark Doctor Strange, or the Darkhold Doctor Strange, talking about things just got out of hand. Like, bro, I'm thinking, oh shit, we fighting Shadow Doctor Strange in the next movie. So like, I'm all excited for him to be the villain. Turns out Wanda's the villain, and then the reasoning for why is just like, if you watched it, I'm glad I watched WandaVision, because if I didn't, I definitely would have had the same reaction that I had to America. Like, who the fuck is these kids, bro? Like, literally, how the fuck does she, like, what? I would have been so lost. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, damn, I really would have been lost. Like, you kind of do need to watch WandaVision, or at least just know what happened in order to. So maybe that's why it didn't hit as much for some people. I know some people, or a lot of people, don't want children. So they don't give a fuck about kids. I don't know, man. There's so many different factors, but I seen a motherfucker on Twitter talking about it was worse than Thor 2. Like, if you don't shut your nut ass up like that, like, shut the fuck up. Like that, like, that shit just be getting me so tight when people say dumb shit, bro. It's like, okay, like, I'm cool with people having their own opinions. Sometimes it's confusing. It's like, how the fuck, like with this movie, it's like, how the fuck are you calling this shit trash? Like, normally I'm okay with, people having their own opinions, but when they say some outlandish shit like that, bro, like, Thor: The Dark World is probably top 1 most boring MCU movie. I haven't seen Eternals. I haven't seen Shang-Chi, but I'm pretty sure that shit was lit. And I think I haven't seen Ant-Man and Wasp. Those are the only 3 movies I haven't seen. I don't really remember much of Captain Marvel, but I definitely didn't hate it or anything. But I for sure remember Thor 2 was boring as shit. So for people to say shit like to say it's like a bottom 5 MCU, like, fuck no. Like, just the movie itself, like I said, the directing and whatnot, the shots they had, the elements that were put into it, like, that shit was too unique, and like, it was nice, bro. That shit was too good for you to be disrespecting it like that. Like, that shit pissed me off, man. But yeah, man, I don't know. I just wanted to, I just kept thinking about WandaVision, and then after the movie, I saw, like, I watched WandaVision Wednesday for the first time, then went to see the movie on Thursday, 16 to 18 hours after I finished WandaVision, and then over the weekend watched WandaVision again, but this time with my family so they could see it, and then went to the movie again on Sunday with them and saw the movie for a second time. All of that just confirmed my feelings for the series and the movie. Like, the storyline was really, like, when people say a storyline is bad, especially one that's actually really good, like, I'd be wondering, like, okay, so what type of storyline were you expecting, or looking forward to, or do you think would have been better? You know what I'm saying? Especially if you seen WandaVision, like, bro, nothing was stopping her. And that shit is fire, bro. Like, it all makes sense too. It's not like well, why would she turn evil, blah blah blah? Because they already said that, you know, oh, the Scarlet Witch, like, she was supposed to be like an embodiment of chaos and, you know, destruction and whatnot. Like, you know, either she's gonna rule the world or destroy it. They already talk about how the Darkhold takes over the user and blah blah blah. So like, I just be trying to understand. Like, I be trying to understand shit. I don't want to be closed-minded, but when I can't understand something that's so far off of how I feel, especially and it's not just strictly based off of feeling, I'm using logic too. It's like, bro, how could you logically call this a bad movie? Even in my second viewing, like, I seen some people mention something about CGI. There was like 1 or 2 things with CGI that I kind of noticed. Like, one was when Wong did that shit and his little sorcerer circles showed up at the true Darkhold. When the circles like kind of appeared and popped out, it kind of, the movement looked weird, but that was literally for a split second. And then the only other thing was Zombie Strange, like close up, like when he was talking. But at the same time, I think that was intentional. Like, he was kind of like moving like that, but like, I think that was like intentional. Plus, I don't even know, I assume that wasn't CGI, you know, it's all just makeup, but maybe there was some of it that was CGI. I don't know. But other than that, like, I really, like I said, besides my extremely minor, you know, peeve just from my nature and whatnot, like, I had no problem with the movie at all. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of someone that just, when it comes to people, I try to see the better side. It's the same with movies and entertainment and whatnot. I just look to get the most enjoyment out of it I can. So I definitely be having negative opinions though, so it's not like I'm kind of just like I just stay positive and whatnot. I definitely be bashing shit. Thor 2 was boring as shit. It's just like the type of storyline that you don't normally get. Like I said, it's normally in form of another character, and you kind of look upon that character and it's like, damn, that could have been me. But in this instance, it was you and it was your character, and it took your other character to realize, damn, this ain't it. Boy, come on, man. Like, I'm a defend this movie forever. This is one of the things I seen firsthand, and also people bashing the plot of this but saying that No Way Home was better, which, you know, I won't debate that because I'm not really sure. Honestly, I'm not even gonna, because I'm biased with Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. You know, he's my favorite superhero. Like, who don't fuck with Spider-Man, bro? Doctor Strange, he probably the coolest though. I can't even lie. In Marvel, at least from what I know, which all I really know is the MCU, along with like a little bit of knowledge of the X-Men. He the most swaggy, bro. He the coolest. So I remember when I first was going through the movies, watching them, like looking at the list of what I had coming up next, and you know, I'd be like, okay, this movie's probably gonna be fire. I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know about that. Doctor Strange was one of those where I was like, oh boy, this probably isn't gonna be that good. And I watched it and I was like, that shit was actually cool. And then Doctor Strange was in No Way Home, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he kind of curious. Like, he doing his thing. Like, don't disrespect him, bro. Don't disrespect him or his movie. Because not only was Doctor Strange doing his thing in this one with all the different Stranges and how he, like, come on, like the fight with the other Strange with the music, that shit was so cool. And then the demons trying to take his shit over and then controlling them, Zombie Strange, like, bro, like that. This is a good ass movie, bro. I don't give up. Like, this ain't something that I'm gonna be like, you know, if you were like, I don't understand if you just thought it was like, man, it was cool, I guess, or whatever. Like, okay, but I'm gonna leave you alone. But if you saying this ass, I'm gonna get on your ass. Like, I'm gonna defend this movie for sure. But back to what I originally meant to say. People talking about the plot of this movie, but if we're being real, if we're talking about the plot of this movie and the plot of No Way Home, then the plot of No Way Home is the ass one. And I have no problem with No Way Home. I enjoyed it. But if we being real, like, let's be real for a second. I'm a by bias. No Way Home was really just a nostalgia trip. That was really just a whole big ass fan service movie with a bunch of cool effects. Like, it was definitely fire. Like, that shit was heat, and I loved it. After I seen it, and you know, I seen some people saying not the best Spider-Man movie, I'm like, nigga, you out your mind. But you know, kind of, if I think about it, there's only one Spider-Man movie that I will allow people to say is better. You know which one it is, Spider-Man 2. That shit might be overall, you know, especially like story wise, like Spider-Man 2 had everything. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That shit is a heat ass movie, boy. That shit fire. It's kind of just, it's hard because it's like, yeah, it's fan service, but at the same time, multiverse, and then that's kind of like our little, I haven't seen Loki, but that's kind of our little, you know, introduction to the multiverse. Then boom, next movie, Doctor Strange 2, Multiverse of Madness. We delve into it a little bit more. Now we learning about incursions and shit, and then now this next Doctor Strange movie, whatever, he gonna have to deal with that shit. So it's like, yes, it was a lot of fan service, but I just hate when people say, oh, it's carried by this, it's carried by that. Because it's like, bro, it was a good ass movie. Like, even if you didn't know, so I didn't see all the Spider-Man movies before I saw No Way Home the first time, and that shit was still heat to me. Obviously, I knew characters and some actors and, you know, shit like that. But like, even without having the knowledge of all the other movies, it was still super enjoyable. It was still really good. I feel like with Marvel movies, especially ones like these, like, you gotta go in with some hate in your heart, a lot of negativity and shit, and gotta try to not enjoy the shit. It's like, cause like, I just don't get it, bro. I just don't get it. That was a fire ass movie, and I really think the only people saying that it was trash are the people that either didn't see WandaVision or wanted to see something completely different with the cameos, which are cameos for a reason. They're cameos. They're guests. It's like, oh shit, oh, that person, like someone being featured on a song, not, oh, this is their movie too. Like there's a whole point to, like, they can literally do whatever they want in this universe now because it's a multiverse, and they can just keep traveling through. They can literally have an infinite amount, like, there's an infinite amount of ideas and whatnot they can implement and put into action. So, you know, some people say that the movie could have been executed better. I just need people to elaborate, honestly. Because they be saying like these blanket statements, and it's like, okay, but how? How was the movie ass? How could something have been done better? I mean, isn't Wanda like top five most OP Marvel characters? Like, I seen motherfuckers saying she took out what, 90%, 99% of the mutant population just by saying no more mutants. Like, bro, yes, she's OP, nigga. Like, what are you mad about? Of course she watched the fucking Illuminati, which I heard Captain Marvel and Captain Carter shouldn't even been there because it's supposed to be like the smartest. You know, it's like, but it's a different, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so crazy because there's so many different issues and variations of all these comics and shit, but people be acting like there's literally just one story. And I don't know, maybe there is only one story of like multiverse and this universe and blah, blah, blah. But, you know, to my understanding, this is on a broader concept than I'm used to. But, you know, if we're looking at something like Spider-Man with all the different variations and issues, it's like, okay, how could you be mad at if they're taking something from this and then, you know, okay, they leave something out? And it's like people really want these movies to be straight adaptations of some old shit. And it's like, bro, this is its own creation. But I don't know, man. I'm starting to, you know, digress and get away for a little bit because this video was mainly supposed to be about Wanda, and then, you know, kind of sharing my thoughts on the Doctor Strange 2 movie. I just really fuck with the story heavy, and I just feel like there's some preconceived notions and all of that shit that that interfere with people's enjoyment of this movie, and especially the story, because, you know, like I said, you know, some people might not give a fuck about parenthood and all that shit, but that shit hit, man. If you're a human with a heart and you care about other people and you seen WandaVision, the shit was fire. So I honestly haven't been this excited about a movie since, you know, I might actually like this more than No Way Home, and I got the added bias on top of, you know, that with Spider-Man, because I love oh man, that shit was fire. That movie was fire. But it's just like, I'm thinking about it, and obviously, yes, after No Way Home, I was hyping all that shit and blah, blah, blah. But like I said, like, definitely which storyline hit more? 100% Doctor Strange 2. And you know, all the shit that happened with Wanda in Westview. Like, even with Endgame, I mean, Infinity War, I was still new. And then with Endgame, it was kind of like a conclusion, so it wasn't really much to talk about. So I think this is really like the most excited I've been after some Marvel shit. Like, I can't even lie. So that just goes to show you how much, I don't know, man, that just goes to show how fire this shit is for real. Let me go ahead and end the video, man. I don't know, man. I just feel like, bro, this shit still got me smiling. It hasn't even been a week yet, so, you know, but still, just like, this storyline is something I want more of. Even though it's like kind of over, you know, I just have that feeling of, I want more, you know, when you see some fire shit. It's emotional for real. Like I said, it's some real shit. If you're in school and you get in a fight, boom, you get suspended. If you break up a fight, boom, you also get suspended. Even if you get hit and you don't fight back, like they tell you, oh, don't fight back, you probably still get suspended, which is some bullshit, because it's like, they're just like, oh, well, why were you involved? It's like, damn, I got attacked and I'm still getting kicked out the school. Like, what the fuck? So, but you know, everyone's parents, when they were kids, told them, someone hit you, you hit them back, right? Am I right? Yes. But you know, society wants to be righteous and all about the whole, oh, turn the other cheek, oh, be the bigger man, fuck that. I'm getting my revenge, bitch. Like, so this shit is real, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's going through all the shit that she been through, and you can't just expect her to be like, oh yes, I'm a superhero though, you know, we oh, shit's tragic, but I'm gonna save lives. Like, no, she want what, like, all of them still want what they want, and that's shown with Doctor Strange when he looking at his memories with Christine, and then the other universe is Christine, and he talking about I love you, and then he said I love you in every single universe. But his fate with the other Strange saying, you know, I traveled through all of these different realities, and you know, I couldn't find, you know, the one where he was happy, where they were together or whatever. That's what he was searching for, but he couldn't find it because he's not fated to have that type of thing. His role is to defend the universe or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He's got a bigger role, and that's tragic. So even if you're not like, I don't give a fuck about his love life or whatever, there's still a story to be told in that. And so it's kind of, that's another thing that goes into people's enjoyment of movies and, you know, their hot takes and just saying the shit ass because, oh, there was an element that you didn't care about. Just because you didn't care about it doesn't mean it's not important or it doesn't show something. You know, it has to do with the character, and just like seeing Doctor Strange, seeing how he started out in the beginning, and then, you know, now you go all the way forward to No Way Home with Peter. You know, he trying to be a hard ass, like, no, stop, blah, blah. Okay, now I don't fuck with you. You really fuck shit up. But at the end, he still cared about him. He like, yeah, man, damn, I just remembered. Niggas don't remember who Peter is. Damn, that shit. There's something about tragedy that's what? There's something about tragedy that's so fire in writing, but it's like, I hate it though, because like, I don't want to see them characters go. I want my characters to be happy, man. So it's like, damn, that shit is some fire writing, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfucker, everybody forget him. Boom. And you know that he did the noble thing, say the universe got everything back under control, but it's like, man, fuck. So that's the same shit with Wanda. She like sacrifice. It's all about sacrifice, bro. It's all about sacrifice, bro. So yeah, you a hater if you don't fuck with the movie and the story. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. If you guys enjoy my my review, or whatever you want to call this, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I'm too cold, nigga, thaw me out. I was broke back then, but I'm balling now. Niggas a little trippy, I ain't falling down. Nah, I ain't falling down. Like, hey, whoa, yeah. Smile, little baby, yes, you in my radius. Quick when I ADS, switch to my alias. I'm with them aliens.